What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So we're going to take a look and listen to Representative Porter. She is going to go after Senator Manchin and talk about this second infrastructure bill, this $3.5 trillion bill. And I thought this was an interesting interview, and so that's why I'm going to play. I'm only going to play a portion of it. I'm not going to play the whole thing. She talked a lot about the child tax credit, and then she went in and talked a little bit about Senator Manchin. And some of the stuff that she said, I would agree with. So we're going to play it. We're going to talk a little bit about it as we play it. And so that's what we're going to do in this video. But first off, on this channel, we talk about news that matters. If that sounds like something interesting to you, please hit that like button. Also, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that little bell notification. That way you'll get notified anytime we put out a video. And like always, if you see my name and a picture of me in the comments, make sure you also see a check mark next to my name. That check mark signifies that it's me. If you do not see that check mark, it's not me. It's someone trying to impersonate me. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look and listen to Katie Porter. Now, she is the vice chair of the Progressive Caucus, so that's something that's worth mentioning. So if you look at her, she's in the progressive side. When you look at Manchin, he is more of the moderate, or we'll call him very moderate when it comes to how he wants to legislate. So that's very important because you have the progressives and the moderates right now in the Democratic Party. They're fighting against each other when it comes to this second infrastructure bill, as well as the first infrastructure bill. So let's go ahead and take a look and listen. Here we go.
To solve as part of Building Back Better. Now, with regard to Senator Manchin and others who want to talk about the price tag for this, let me be clear. You are a business person. You get it. You can do math. If something costs A, then you have two options. You can negotiate down from A, or you can find the money. We have revenue options on the table. There are a huge number of corporations that pay zero taxes. And by making savvy revenue choices, for example, using a real corporate profit approach to dealing with those corporations that pay zero, we could generate $700 billion. If we use the corporate minimum tax approach, we're going to generate $40 billion. Right there, Senator Manchin, right there, anyone who's worried about spending, we can generate the revenue so that this isn't about $3.5 trillion in spending. It's not even now about $3.5 trillion in spending because we're going to generate the revenue to pay for these things. I have the will to do it. The question is, does Senator Manchin, or is he more concerned about his corporate donors, including large corporations, the oil and gas industry, the big pharmaceutical industry, and others who are getting away with paying nothing under our current tax system?
All right, well, how about tax?
And one thing she's saying here, now she's saying that this money could be collected every year. So if you're collecting this every year, then it will pay for that $3.5 trillion because this is going to be over the span of 8 to 10 years, this second infrastructure bill, as well as the first. We're not paying this all up the first year. This is something that over time will be paying for itself is the plan.
Tax enforcement. It was dropped from the bipartisan bill, but the Treasury Department just said that the top 1% are evading. I'm not talking about adding new laws, evading $163 billion every year. Shouldn't tax enforcement putting more money into the IRS to enforce the existing tax laws, wouldn't that be a great part of this budget?
Heck yes, Stephanie, but look who took that out. The very same people who are complaining that we can't afford to make investments in regular American families are the same ones who are trying to shield the tax cheats of this country. So they can't have it both ways. Absolutely, we should fully fund the IRS enforcement. Every American should pay their fair share, whether you're a huge corporation or a entry-level worker. But right now we have a system in which the everyday people pay and the super, super wealthy, that top 1%, those huge multinational corporations, get away with paying nothing. I and the other people who are pushing to invest in American families, including through things like childcare, are the very same people pushing to fully fund the IRS. I'd like to see Senator Joe Manchin come out in favor of fully funding the IRS, in favor of having a fair global corporate tax system. And once we've raised that revenue, then I'm willing to talk to him about what we need to do to create a budget bill that meets his goal and his definition of being fiscally responsible. I think it's dead on, fiscally irresponsible for Senator Manchin to refuse to raise revenue and at the same time, out of the other side of his mouth, maybe the side of his mouth that he uses to talk to his corporate donors, complain that we can't pay for the things that American families desperately need.
So that was Representative Porter. So you see, she's going after Senator Manchin, and you're probably going to hear more politicians, more Democrats, probably more progressive Democrats going after Senator Manchin. I still think they should call his bluff. okay, you want to do this, that's fine. We're just going to move forward with what we have, and then we'll get to that point where we're ready to vote. And if you want to vote against it, you can vote against it and have a lot of people very, very upset with you. A lot of people in West Virginia very upset with you, because a lot of the stuff that's in this bill is going to help all Americans. So it will be helping people in West Virginia as well. So we're going to have to see how this plays out. But going back to the tax enforcement, yes, the IRS should be enforcing the tax laws so everybody pays their fair share. I agree with that. I can't think of anyone who would think, oh, you know what? Yes, the American people should be paying this amount, but corporations shouldn't pay anything. I don't think that's the way we want our country run. So we want everybody to pay their fair share. And if corporations are paying more, then guess what? That's helping all of us, because they should be paying more. They shouldn't be paying zero. So I don't think there's an argument there. I know some people say, well, you know what? Corporations, they create jobs. But you know what? People create jobs as well, because when we go into a store and we purchase things at a grocery store, guess what? If there's enough of us going into that grocery store, that corporation, that grocery store has to hire more employees. So you see Senator Manchin's catching some heat now, so we'll have to see how far that goes. And back in January, and I didn't report on this, but back in January, Senator Manchin was talking about a $4 trillion infrastructure bill. Okay, the first infrastructure bill and the second infrastructure bill, he's talking about $4 trillion. And now he's talking about, oh no, it shouldn't be more than 1.5 trillion. Well, you were talking about 4 trillion back then, and now you're talking about 1.5 trillion. So, I mean, we're pretty much at 4 trillion now, maybe 4 trillion and some change when it comes to the first infrastructure bill and the second infrastructure bill. But now, all of a sudden, Senator Manchin only wants a $1.5 trillion bill. And one more thing before we go, remember, there's a petition out there for seniors, $1,400 stimulus checks for seniors. Make sure you go over there. I'll post a link in the description. Now, in the description, so if you scroll down, you're going to see a description of the video, and then right under that, you'll see a link. Just click on that link. It'll take you over, and you can vote for this $1,400 stimulus check. Okay, now what this is you have the Senior Citizen League, and they are going to lobby Congress. So what they'll do is they're going to take these numbers. So if we can get 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 people that are in favor of a $1,400 stimulus check for seniors, they're going to take that to Congress and say, look, this is the support we have for a $1,400 stimulus check. So I will post that link in the description. I'll also post a link in the comment section. So if you go down to the comments, there'll be a link there, so you can click on that link. It'll take you right over there. So that's all I have for you guys. If you guys have any questions, post them down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.